Imagine funding a startup and less than 10 years later NASA asks you to build the next lunar rover that astronauts will actually drive on the moon. Sounds impossible? Well, that's exactly what happened. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most exciting companies in the new space economy that almost nobody is talking about: Lunar Outpost. Lunar Outpost was founded in 2017 by CEO Justin Cyrus and a group of engineers who believed something radical. The future of space exploration wouldn't be built by governments alone. Instead, commercial companies would build the infrastructure for humanity's return to the moon. Today the company is headquartered in Golden, Colorado, with additional operations in Australia and Luxembourg, and has grown to more than 200 employees. That's incredibly impressive considering the company is less than 10 years old. Lunar Outpost isn't just building another rover, their goal is much bigger. They want to become the company that builds the infrastructure for permanent human settlements beyond Earth. Think of them as the Caterpillar, John Deere and Tesla of the moon. Instead of roads on Earth, they're preparing roads of the future on another world. Most people know them for their lunar rovers, but that's only one part of the story. The company develops autonomous lunar vehicles, robotic systems, AI-powered navigation, mobility services, surface operations software, and technologies that will support future lunar infrastructure and resource utilization. Their philosophy is simple. Instead of sending one rover for one mission, they're creating transportation systems that can operate for years, just like commercial vehicles on Earth. That is a completely different business model than the Apollo era. Here's something many people missed. Lunar Outpost already became one of the first commercial companies to place a rover on its way to the moon. That tiny rover called MEP flew aboard an Intuitive Machines mission. Unfortunately, the lander tipped over after landing, limiting the rover's operations. But despite that setback, NASA saw something important. The company had proven it could design, build and fly lunar hardware. Now comes the game changer. Just a few weeks ago, NASA selected Lunar Outpost to build one of the official lunar terrain vehicles for the Artemis program. Even more important, NASA didn't choose only one rover. It selected two commercial providers: Astrolab and Lunar Outpost. That means Lunar Outpost is now officially one of those companies trusted to transport astronauts across the lunar South Pole. The rover is called Pegasus, and it's nothing like the small Apollo rover from the 1970s. Pegasus can be driven by astronauts, operated remotely from Earth, or drive completely autonomous. It is designed to survive the brutal lunar environment for up to 1 year. It can transport astronauts, carry equipment, move cargo, inspect infrastructure, and help prepare future lunar bases. In other words, it's becoming one of the first work vehicles of humanity's moon economy. NASA's current plan is to deliver Pegasus to the lunar South Pole by 2028. The rover itself won't launch alone. It will be carried aboard Blue Origin's Blue Moon Mark 1 cargo lander under a separate NASA contract worth $188 million. So this is really fascinating. One commercial company builds the lander, another builds the rover, NASA becomes the customer. This is exactly how the commercial space economy is supposed to work. NASA wasn't looking for the biggest company, it was looking for speed, innovation, autonomy, and commercial thinking. Lunar Outpost designed Pegasus to operate far beyond a single Artemis mission. The rover can support astronauts, robotic missions, construction work, resource prospecting, and eventually even commercial customers. That's exactly the future NASA wants: a sustainable lunar economy instead of isolated government missions. Is Lunar Outpost public? Unfortunately, not yet. Lunar Outpost remains a privately held startup, so today there's no way for retail investors to buy shares directly. But considering the company's growth, its NASA contracts, and its central role in Artemis, it's definitely one of the new space companies worth watching closely. When people think about Artemis, they usually think about SpaceX or NASA, maybe Blue Origin. But here's the reality. Permanent human presence on the moon won't be built by one giant company. It will be built by hundreds of specialized startups. Some build rockets, some build habitats, some build communications, and companies like Lunar Outpost will build the vehicles that make everything else possible. Without mobility, there is no moon base. The new space economy isn't coming someday, it's happening right now. And Lunar Outpost is one of the startups quietly building the future, one rover at a time. If you enjoyed this deep dive, let me know which new space company I should cover next. Astrolab, iSpace, Impulse Space, or maybe Stoke Space? Because trust me, the most exciting space companies you've never heard of are only just getting started. See you in the next video. Ciao.